Ladies and gentlemen, this is the world today. We have an epic topic that we're going to discuss, and today's subject is the environment. I'm sure you've all heard about the rumors that says that the Gulf Stream is going to stop. And if it stops, we're going to face a new ice age that's going to cover the entire Europe. I've invited two scientists that's going to tell us about the situation regarding the Gulf Stream and what the future will look like. I present to you Dr. Brown and Cornelius.
Welcome to the world today, Dr. Brown and Dr. Cornelius. It's an honor to have you here today.
Thank you.
The pleasure is ours.
Now then, to begin with, what is the Gulf Stream exactly, and what role does it play in Europe's climate?
Well, the Gulf Stream is an ocean current that fuels several climates that are in the European one. Part of the Gulf Stream's circulation is where the warm water evaporates to the east of Europe, resulting in a relatively warm climate. Well, warm relative to our northern latitude. When this water evaporates, the local salt content rises, making the water heavier. The heavier, colder water then sinks to the ocean floor before it returns to the northern climates.
I've heard a lot of rumors about a threat against the Gulf Stream. What exactly is this threat?
Well, current research is strongly suggesting that the warm climate will lead to the ice melting. This will cause the local salt content to decrease and the weight of the Gulf Stream's water to be insufficient. Instead of returning to the equator, the Gulf Stream will simply continue north until it dissipates. We know this because this has happened before, and just as before, the dissipation of the Gulf Stream will likely result in an ice age engulfing the entire European continent, rendering it close to sterile in the process.
Yeah, that sounds really serious, but there are a lot of reasons why Earth is getting warmer. You can't blame everything on mankind. What about the sun's effect on Earth, like cosmic radiation and atmospheric oscillation?
Well, it's true that those factors affect global warming, but the thing is, they are part of natural cycles, where the Earth emits the same amount as it processes. But the fossil fuels that we use today, and their emissions, haven't been part of these cycles for millions of years. This will result in an imbalance, where we emit more than the Earth itself can manage to process.
That may be true, but I read a very trustworthy article where they have done measurements and also looked at reports from satellites. They show that the Gulf Stream's natural heat pump won't be affected noticeably, and that it won't risk slowing down for the coming 20 years. We don't have to worry about it, right?
Well, even though it won't slow down soon, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't do our very best to prevent it. Just because we won't be there or affected by it, it doesn't mean that we want to leave a broken world to our children. Changes like these ones won't give us much of a warning beforehand, and we cannot know when the Gulf Stream will stop with high enough certainty. It can be compared to trying to predict the next month's weather.
So you're saying that the entire world is going to heat up this fast?
No, that's not what we meant.
I've heard that the Gulf Stream is going to get stronger with a warmer climate. You see, the heating will create more favorable conditions for trade winds to transport the fresh water made from melting ice away to the south. It will increase the water transportation, and that will make the Gulf Stream even stronger. Thus, more fresh water will be transported to the Pacific Ocean. I mean, there are good things with heating too. Now, I can go on sunny vacation not so far away from home.
This is no joke, Miss Emmy.
Certainly not.
But you know, if we would start working against the global warming, it's going to affect the economy all over the world.
The cost of the resources we'd use to prevent the climate change would be substantially smaller than the cost of fixing an ecological damage that has already occurred. And it is our responsibility to fix what damages we have caused, as no one else will do it for us.
If we aren't allowed to use oil, then what are we gonna do, huh?
Our dependency on oil is harmful both to the environment and humankind. The emissions speed up the greenhouse effect, which will impair our lives in a plethora of ways. Not only that, but our complete dependency on oil makes us vulnerable long-term, since it isn't a renewable source, which means it will eventually run out. And if we continue like this, we will have to make up for all the years we didn't seriously consider other possibilities of renewable fuel. We will be faced with immeasurable challenges that will surely overwhelm us if we don't start doing something about it now. We have to find other alternatives to oil sooner rather than later.
Well, what about the prices of environmentally friendly goods? Growing organic food is going to make the market prices skyrocket.
Not according to any logical economist. If everyone starts buying ecological goods, the demand will rise, and so will the range. It will render the non-ecological goods useless since there will be no demand. Thus, the organic goods prices will eventually even out as companies try to compete with each other for the lowest prices, as it does with everything in the market. If by chance that the sequence of events don't happen in this manner, the government should be liable to subsidize the cost of ecological goods for a healthier earth and healthier people.
So, what Al Gore said about the Gulf Stream stopping is true in certain ways, but there's also misinformation, along with the exaggerated facts to be found in that statement.